Hi everyone, Brad Porter here. This is my weekly Sunday top of mind video. This week I want to talk about what it takes to land a great robotics internship. So I get this question a lot from students, from parents, from colleagues. I think a lot of us want to help make sure that young people get on the career track quickly, and internships are a great way to do that. Uh, on the other hand, it's challenging right now. I think so much excitement, enthusiasm in robotics, particularly at the high school level with FIRST Robotics, and that continues into college clubs and programs. But we're seeing a lot of applications for a smaller number of opportunities, and in particular, I think internships have maybe not kept up post COVID with full time positions, and so it's harder and harder to find really great internships. So we have to get a little bit creative, particularly if you're an underclassman, if you're a freshman, sophomore. It's harder to find internships, and so here's some tips. Here's some ways that will differentiate you a bit. The first is simulation. It turns out that all of us are using simulation in robotics, and yet finding people with real expertise, real experience in a variety of simulators. A lot of us are using, say, NVIDIA's Omniverse IsaacSim, Gazebo, Majoko, Dart. There are lots of different Unity. There are lots of different simulation engines. It doesn't matter as much which ones you have experience with, but develop some experience with simulators in your schoolwork. I do think experience with IsaacSim is particularly valuable right now, as a lot of people are trying uh, to explore and use that capability. And NVIDIA is putting a lot of emphasis behind it. I also think a lot of the challenge in robotics is getting really down to the low level and figuring out what's going on. And so, getting that experience, putting the oscilloscope on CAN bus, watching traces, debugging down to the firmware level, understanding what's going on across the system. That's incredibly valuable. Folks who are good at that are in high demand. And then the other piece is if you have experience working in operational environments, particularly environments that are ripe for automation. So maybe you spent a summer restocking shelves somewhere. You've spent time helping move supplies around a hospital, or even behind the counter at a Starbucks, or helping restock a grocery store. Those things are worth putting on your resume, worth highlighting. I think having that operational empathy when you're trying to bring robots into the real world, understanding what those jobs are like, understanding what folks who managing, say, a grocery store operation care about is really valuable insight and can set you apart. I think the other thing I encourage is like be scrappy in trying to find those internships. I think sometimes people think that means trying to find a free internship or trying to propose that they're willing to work for free. The challenge is it can actually be hard to employ someone for free. And so I think being upfront with companies that the financial compensation over the summer might not be the top priority, uh, but that you want to get the experience and want to get in there, and then being flexible on how they might be able to compensate you is valuable. But kind of proposing free actually doesn't often work with people's internal policies, or frankly with labor laws. Particularly, states like California have pretty strict rules there. But I think what you can do is look around for opportunities in your network, in your hometown. My first internship, I interviewed for an internship with Microsoft after my freshman year at MIT. I didn't get it, and I ended up taking an internship with a hometown manufacturing company. Happened to be a highly reputable company, Welch Allen, in the medical devices company. I worked on barcode scanners. Tremendously awesome experience, and one that was enabled by you know people knowing that if you graduated top in your high school, and some of the engineering clubs and things I had done meant there were folks who were aware of kind of the work I'd done as a high schooler, and then they were willing to give me an opportunity that summer. And so I think if you could, if you can work with a local manufacturing company, help them set up a 6-degree of freedom robotic arm to automate some process path, that'd be awesome, right? Just anything, particularly in those kind of freshman sophomore years, that get you some experience. And um, it could be repairing electronics, it could be you know doing some work on heavy equipment in the kind of apprentice, anything that gets you hands on and gets you kind of experience with operational work environments is very valuable later on, and will differentiate your resume from others. I hope that's helpful. I hope those tips are useful, and good luck landing great opportunities this summer. Thanks, everyone.